Hello everyone, welcome back to Prince Nikki's channel. Thank you for joining us today. Today is yet another milestone. We thought just a few moments ago we was celebrating a milestone when we did the first floor casting, and here we are coming to the roofing. So applause to us, we finally made it. We're very excited. We're at the roofing stage. The roofing sheets are on order and currently on a shipment in the middle of the sea somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere in the Atlantic.
So yeah, we're very excited. We finally made the roofing stage. It's a milestone to get there. So we'll be ready for our topping out ceremony.
Yes, don't forget the goats. Molly, the carpenter, is asking for the goats for the topping out ceremony. I said, wait, I want to be there so that we all celebrate.
Yeah.
You're not having the fufu without me.
We'll be there in a few months anyway. Just a few months and we'll be there so we can celebrate together.
Just imagine fufu with ghost soup, light ghost soup, yeah.
Anyone that's in Ghana in Easter, come and join us, for the topping out ceremony. So today's video, obviously, we're talking about the roofing. We thought we'd break it down into two different stages. The first one being the wood carpentry. As I said, the roofing sheets we have ordered from internationally and they're on the way. So there has been a little bit of a gap for them to come, but we're pleased with the decision that we made, and we may cover that as we're talking throughout this process. If you have watched the last video, we did a review on our 18-month and we kind of reflected on our 18-month journey and how we've got to where we were doing the forecast. We could have a nice reflection. So if you haven't already watched that, do go check it out. It will be very valuable to those of you who are in the planning or earlier stages.
Yeah, I would say the roof covering should have been on now if we haven't decided to source the roofing tiles from China ourselves. Would have been done by now, but that shouldn't be far now. It's on the way. So hopefully early December we should be having a roof covering on and thinking about windows and get watertight.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about it now whilst we're on the subject. So when we was thinking about obviously the roofing, we will do another video that will probably come out after this one in terms of options for those of you who are at the design stage, hidden roof versus pitch roof. We will do a video on that.
Yeah, we also get a lot of queries through our emails, people asking us what difference between the different pitch roof system in terms of the cost and use of materials. And the reason why we got it, someone is building somewhere in Aburi was asking what is the difference between using metal trusses and the wood trusses, the advantage and disadvantage. So we get a lot of comments also on different parts, different stages of the building process where we are not on ourselves from people who ask us a lot of questions, which we try as much as to help based on our own experience.
Yes, I mean, obviously with our particular building, we may have omitted different options. For example, with the roofing, we didn't go for the hidden roof, but we will, as we always do with different videos that we've put out, we will bring a video that gives you the pros and cons and options for the different two so that you can have a consideration. So yeah, there's lots of different options that people can make, and we will do a separate video, as I said, on the actual roofing options. But for us, we decided to go ahead with the traditional pitched roof when we was at the design stage. But obviously, as we was nearing towards the end of the kind of lintel, wasn't it? We was then obviously starting to look at getting quotations and companies. So we first obviously looked at companies in Ghana. We got a number of quotations. But then obviously as time went on, we started thinking outside of the box, which is where we ended up ordering our materials internationally.
Yeah, I think it's first we get a quotation, so we request each of the companies first to give us a quotation based on the drawings, and the options was give us quotation for using the long span roofing sheets and then metal trusses and wood trusses. So that give us to be able to narrow down which way we want to go. Either we're using wood truss or we use metal truss. And then we come to the roof covering. Are we going to use a long span or we're going to use clay tiles or
What we ended up with was the stone coated, isn't it?
Stone coated tile. So we did consider all that, and about that, doing the analysis, we felt that the best option for us, also aesthetically, we decided to go with the stone coated tile.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we found, or what was a challenge for us, was what we wanted very specific was we'd looked into the stone coated tiles, and if you do your research online, looking outside on social medias, there's lots of different styles and there's lots of different colours. So we kind of had an idea of that we wanted to go with the bond style tile, which looks very similar to a clay tile in terms of pattern and shape. And then we obviously had a very specific colour that we wanted to go with.
Don't talk about colour. Yeah? The colour that you couldn't find any colour in Ghana. Huh?
I mean, are you trying to say I'm the challenging one?
Yeah, you couldn't find, you don't want red, you don't want blue, you don't want black.
So yeah, we went around shopping. I mean, you can get the colour, I guess, if you want to go to the companies that they're more expensive that will source the colour, but we have to stick in budget, and that's how we've kept on budget throughout this whole project, is sticking on the task that we have and sourcing the materials from the right way. So that's how we've managed to stay in budget. So we've got the colour that we wanted.
Yeah, I think it's one of the things when I first speak to the guy in China is that it's like Ghana market, there's a popular colours that Ghanaians go for, and then all this come through the big distributors in Ghana, or the big wholesalers in Ghana who sell to the different shops. And then also in the thickness, you got different thickness also, which are common in Ghana. Surprisingly, the thickness available in the Kumasi market is different from what is available in Accra market. I never know this until I got into different discussion with the manufacturer, and tell me that if it's in Accra market, this is what people typically buy. And then also, if you're buying from China, the question is it for your own building or is it for profit?
So they give you, obviously they have the long-term knowledge. One thing I found with the company that we went with, they provide for different markets as well. So there's quite a strong market in Tanzania as well that they sell to. So there's different thicknesses, and what we come to find after doing research is the ones that were in the market in Ghana are frequently the 0.30 millimeters, as opposed to the higher end thicker one.
It's common is 0.35 mil, or 40 is also there. But when I got the quotations, and I was saying to the guys we shortlisted to use, a company we shortlisted to use, and I said I'm looking for 0.5 mil. It tells me don't waste money on it, because even if someone tells you I'm gonna give you that thickness, they will bring 0.4 and you will not know the difference between it.
Yeah.
And I kind of agree, because you're not gonna go and climb your roof and take a gauge to go and measure the thickness. And then having spoken to the manufacturer, and it tells me this is what is we supply majority of the stuff in Ghana. This is what it is on the market. I spoke to the carpenter. All he's been installing about 0.35 mil. So we just said, if we want the right thing, you just got to go to the manufacturer direct.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of costing, it was cheaper.
If you go for the same like-for-like quotation, it's relatively, effectively, less than half the price if you're buying direct, including delivery.
Yeah.
It's not like when you increase the spec to what you actually want, that it's still cheaper. It is cheaper than...
Yeah, so we went for a thicker one, which closed the gap in terms of the cost effectiveness, but we still got savings by doing it this way, but we also got exactly what we wanted in terms of colour and design.
And I think it's in terms of we end up with the same money, we end up buying all our rain gutters, everything else from the same factory, including delivery. So use those the ring cutters and monies were quoting for us in Ghana were just unbelievable, expensive. So I think it's for us to go to China. I think I'll give a shout out to Ghana Bakweku, because I think it's seeing procuring that dough from China, the ways everything works, give you the confidence that as an individual, you can go and procure things direct from China.
And they're really good in their communication. We was on WhatsApp with them. I mean, the time difference, Prince is always on in terms of, was it early morning you was on with them, isn't it?
I got to see, got to speak early morning. And
early morning, voice notes, waking the whole house up. But yeah, I mean, you can tell.
What's the challenge? Yeah, when it comes to the bank, paying them. Yeah, there are so many bank branches. So keep going through the list. So give you the banking number and address. You keep going. So the same street, there's thousands trying to find the bank number, but. Yeah,
we got there. I think, so it's good. Their communication, they send you literally lots of videos of, they'll walk around the shop floor. The amount of times I told him, I want a video of this, go and get me this. Oh, I don't like the lighting, I want to see it outside in the light and inside in the light. I am a fussy customer, so they done really well with the videos and stuff. So I was really pleased with how that came. So, we ended up ordering the roofing sheets from internationally. But as you can see here on the video, I mean, as we've been talking, we've made great progress in terms of how we've got along with it. So just taking a step back, obviously, after we'd done the forecourse, we'd made a decision that we was going to buy the sheets from internationally, and the option for us was that we was going to use our carpenter from our P&D construction company that we know and trust, and we know the quality of the work that we use. So obviously we'd omitted the option of buying direct from a company in Ghana for various reasons that we'd briefly touched on, but there are lots of different pros and cons. I think we'll bring that in another video in terms of the pros and cons of hidden roof and also the direct and indirect. So we will bring a video on that. But in terms of what we decided to go with our carpenter.
In terms of the quality, effectively, the quality and what we can control, as we like to control the process of what's being done, it's fair to say that our carpenter, in terms of workmanship, was more expensive than the company. And what we were told, we find out is, I say, this company's got people on their books, and some of them are even give them accommodation. So they send them, so they are very competitive in terms of the price. But when we talk about the quality in terms of the sourcing of the wood, there were some stories that we heard about different woods being used than what was quoted for.
For example, one of our followers on YouTube, True Mamley, she said when you're buying your roofing, be very careful about the wood, because when you buy the wood, sometimes they bring the wrong one, the cheaper version. So that was something that we held in mind, and it's really important that we all share.
One of the first comments we ever received said, be very careful when you go through this process. So I think it was very good, because there are different type of woods which looks the same. So you need to know that the right wood is being used. I think now you can't get Odum. Odum is very scarce. If you can get it, very expensive. There's another wood they call Jenga, but I think the carpenters don't like it because they say it's very hard. They can't nail through it because people don't use drills. But Esa is a commonly wood now being used for roofing, and apparently there are different grades of it. So you just got to be careful where you're sourcing your wood from.
Yeah, so obviously we when we decided to go with our carpenter that we're using, we made sure that we were able to have the confidence with kind of the quality control. So with the wood, when we purchased it, obviously foreman, Mike and the carpenter go along together and make the purchase of the wood and the ordering, and when it gets delivered to site, they make sure that they're there to check all the woods and sign it off. I really like this kind of process, because I think where we have our own people as well, you're able to kind of, when they're on site, we're getting the daily videos.
It's a quality control.
We keep saying about the videos. when you're not there, you really need those videos daily, and you're seeing what's happening on the ground. You're seeing them spraying the wood. You're seeing it pieced together. Whereas obviously with a company, they're not going to be sending you videos every day.
With me too is even making sure everything is exactly according to the drawings. So I would say Maoli, tell me what is the high from here to the ridge. What is this to reach? Just double checking. Same thing that we have done when I'm there in person. Double checking that everything is according to the drawing, because that is very key. All we wanted is that our roofing or the whole build process follow what has been designed, and because we had a model done of the whole building, so we know everything that is shown on the drawing is achievable.
Yeah, and one of the things that was surprised the company that we purchased the roofing sheets was when we had the carpenter put together the roof that you're seeing on the screen now. We took final measurements before they went to production, and actually we did a sketch diagram of the measurements for him to check the estimate, and he was astonished that the actual drawing of the building as opposed to how it's been built, he was really pleased with actually the measurements, and there was no shortage or needed to be produced more. So that control that you're able to get the carpenter to check everything and make sure everything is perfect. And we had nice discussions, didn't we? Obviously, in terms of the overhang, we really wanted to make sure. I mean, there's some of the things that you need to consider when you're obviously doing this stage of works. The overhang is really important to get correct. Obviously, being in a warm country, you need the shade to your home,
and also the rain and the shade is very important. So it's and also people who do hidden roof, you see that's why you see all these wrap around overhangs and stuff in order to address the shade. So you need to think about how do you keep the house cool by your roofing strategy or your building.
Yeah, because we've seen online a few people that have gone for the more modern design, and then they've retrofitted like sunshades and stuff over the bedroom windows. So it is something to consider if you're not there yet, is how you're going to provide shade and cover to your bedrooms, because it is about aesthetics, but also it's about in practicality as well.
Yeah, it is, because we had a discussion on do we have our soffit or the overhang between 12 inches and 24 inches, isn't it? So they said the standard they'll do is 24 inches. I said, no, that is far too way for us. So then we end up setting up for 18 inches, which is about 450 mil, which is what it was based on our model. Yeah, so when it become putting the trusses on, it's that you can see some of them are longer than the others, but when they finish, that is cut before they fix the fascia. Then the after the fascia is where you have your rainwater gutter fixed there. I am not a big fan of having the metal gutters, especially when you have a long span roof. They have a metal gutter fitted, because I don't believe where they put the drainage points, the holes for the water to come down to the rain pipes. Just feel like some of them, sometimes they are the wrong place, and you can see people, they'll put a pipe to link it to where it needs to be, but all just need to be coordinated to show that these pipes go discreetly in a corner of the building than being sticking down everywhere, or you got gullies are places whereby you got no drain pipes to collect the water. So all those things need to be thought about when you are doing the roof stage. Don't just let the roofing installer just go and put a lot of metal gutters around with a lot of drop points for the water to come down without thinking about how do you get that onto the ground.
Yeah, I think if you've got this far and you've got your design, you really need to be thinking about how it's finishing and looking. So just take the time to plan it well. As you can see on the video here, obviously they've now done the fascias, and it's looking nice, isn't it?
We decided to go for the wooden fascia. The PVC we wanted, when we searched the market in Ghana, we couldn't get the type which is in the UK. What we can find was just like a cladding system. It's not a complete click and lock system. So we decided just to proceed on the wood fascia because once it's painted, Molly has shown me this particular wood he used. I can't remember the name top of my head, but he said nothing. It doesn't suffer from any degradation of ants. The stuff doesn't won't bite. So he said it's especially for life. So it might require some regular maintenance, but that should last us for a long time.
As you can see there is one tile that they laid on there as an example for us. So, just to give us a little insight and a little teaser there, they sent us some tile that they put on there just to show us. But these are the footage that they sent to us. Obviously, as I said, they sent us footage on a daily basis at each stage. So we had those discussions actively with the carpenter and with our foreman in terms of our specifications and any requirements that we had. If you're not familiar, there are different stages with this process. Obviously, you have to do the setting out. There's the trusses and the battens. You need to think about kind of where your gutters are coming into it. And the rainwater is really important in your planning. So, we're really pleased where we're at. You can see the overhang, you can see the shadow. We can see that we're going to get a nice bit of shade from that as well in terms of it. There you can see him there at the top, hanging up there, doing the finishing.
Yeah, I think the other thing we considered was this parapet fascia, which is common, but we didn't like how it's done doing because the fixing method wasn't keen. We were not keen with the way it's been fixed. And then also, if you want to do another option, which is quite popular in Nigeria, you need a lot of iron rods in order just to cast that. You need a whole form where you need to be done and cast it. And considering all that, I think it's good. We had a budget, as I said, as somebody who is a cost manager, we had a budget we need to deliver this building with. So
yeah.
we just want to make sure we keep on to the design, stick to the budget, and that's how we proceeded.
Yeah, and we're pleased with it in terms of the way. But as you can see here from the inside, you can see that the roof is all finished. It's now waiting for the roofing sheets to come. So we don't waste the time and we stick in terms of timeline. We got them to do the ceiling joists, so that's prepared, and we've achieved the ceiling height that we wanted to make sure we can maximise the ceiling height.
Yeah, I think when we do the next video on cost, when we do a video on cost, what we need to talk about is the reason originally we were gonna use metal ceiling joists and stuff because we're gonna use plaster boards, but after receiving the cost alone to do just the outside, the fascia, the surface, the surface ceiling, what people call outside ceiling, the cost we've got, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. And the reality is, and this is what we've always said all the way throughout to everyone, is you don't want to design a house that is going to take you 10 years to build unless that's your long-term plan. We want to build a house within a budget that's achievable, within an achievable timescale, so we can actually use the house sooner with our children. We want to finish it, we want to experience it, we want to be able to cut down the costs when we're travelling there and staying. And we just really, that's what we wanted. So we hope you found the video useful in terms of showing you visually the process that we're at in terms of the roofing stage. As I said, the roofing tiles will be put on and a video will come shortly. If you haven't already done so, drop us a comment and let us know how you feel about our progress, any comments that you have on the discussions that we've had today, and do subscribe to the channel, support us and help us to share the knowledge and continue to grow. There's the guys there. But thank you everyone for watching today. It's been really good touching base with you, and we hope you've enjoyed the video. We will bring another video on pros and cons after this of the different options for the roofing. But thank you for watching today.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.